The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Fantastic show we do every single week. It is our fastest growing show right here on Tony Kurre Radio. Wherever you get your favorite podcast, we're available on every major industry out there. You will find us. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I believe it's the only show out there with that name. So we will not have a problem with that. 948-4958, 948-4958. And Matt Butts, MatthewMButtsLaw.net. He's the man on the other side of the screen. How are you, my friend? What's going on?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. You do divorce and family law, but you also do some criminal stuff today. And before we get to some emails, I got some really good emails and keep the emails coming, by the way. Info at TonyKurreRadio.net. Info at TonyKurreRadio.net. No question is too dumb. And I love when we get questions about shows that we've done in the past. And we got a lot of emails from last week, which is fantastic. So we'll get into those coming up in just a few minutes. But criminal law myths. You kind of threw this out at me before we get started, and I don't know exactly what that means. But tell me some things that you're thinking off the top of your head that may be mythology when it comes to criminal law.
All right. So if someone has brought charges against you, or if someone has called the police, the DA brings charges against you, and this person's the victim, and you go to trial, you can discredit a victim. You can do all sorts of things, but this person is not paying a dime for this thing to go on. This person is not going to face any type of criminal liability, generally speaking, for what happened. And you are going to be on the bad end of that bucket the whole way through. And it is a fight because allegations have been made and charges have been brought. And you really want to get even, especially when it's not true, especially when people are trying to abuse the system. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it happens. Sure. I've seen it happen because a lot of, especially with divorce law, people want to run out and file domestic violence charges or file a protection from abuse petition. And sometimes these things are very, very, very warranted because sometimes abuse is actually happening. But it was funny. I was in a courtroom yesterday and the judge said, look, if there's a threat of imminent harm, then yeah, that's what this thing's for. And I'm paraphrasing. He said, but if you guys are yelling at each other and somebody throws a cell phone in the front yard, that's just conflict resolution, like you don't need to kick somebody out of the house and exclude them from their child's life because they threw a cell phone. You don't need to do that. Yeah. But people think, hey, I can clear this up really quick with the truth. Well, let me tell you, the truth comes out in trial. And trial doesn't happen for a long time. So you've got this long time of you knowing, hey, this did not happen the way that it's been charged, but you've got to wait a long, long time, lots of times to get to that truth.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Certainly seen that happen. Been there, done that. That's one of those, having had friends who have gone through restraining orders. That's another one of those things where it doesn't have to go to a judge to get signed off on. It's one of those immediate things where if you feel like your life isn't being threatened by anything.
No, it goes before the judge, but you can get an ex parte order.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Yeah, and if that happens, it's a done deal, regardless of whether you're the nicest guy on earth. You could be a priest, and next thing you know, you're not allowed to see your kids for a period of time until you actually get through a court case, which just, I mean, it seems horrible. It sounds terrible, but it is what it is.
And lots of times when it's the protection from abuse route, they'll be set for hearing pretty quickly. And in that you can work out temporary matters of seeing the children, of property, things like that, just very, very, very immediate matters. But you're not going to get the type of consideration probably that you would if you've got a case that's only about that's your custody, right? Yeah. Right. They are going to err on the side of caution to keep people safe, because if this thing were true and this person were to be around children, then that would be a terrible thing. You got to look at it from that point too, because if a judge just says, "Oh, this is nothing," and it turns out to be something, then that's a bad thing. So they've got to err on the side of caution. I get it, but sometimes when things are pled and there's just nothing even pled that spells out immediate harm, they'll just set it for hearing and they won't enter an ex parte order.
But judges see that, don't they? I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm assuming that for everyone that is filed, there's probably one that is a BS. But if in fact that's the case, what does that judge do from that point on? They know that hey, listen, this person's already filed something once, and it's not going to go through again.
Well, I mean, so if a person has filed a protection from abuse order, and I think I might have misunderstood the question. Can we cut that part? I'm sorry. I think
sure. No, that's fine. If somebody, let me mark this spot, 1127. No, my question was, if someone's filing, he's beating my children, blah, 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 and it's not true, then she's pretty much played her hand. And then when you go to trial, she's going to know that she's full of shit, right?
Well, yeah, that's the inevitable thing. So if it's a lie, lots of times you can prove that it is a lie. If it's he said, she said, it becomes a lot harder. If there's really no physical evidence involved, if it involves children, you'll want a guardian ad litem involved in the, for the PFAs, the state will, for the PFAs filed, that go to criminal court, they'll appoint a guardian ad litem on those. But at the end of the day, if somebody says, hey, he wielded a gun, or hey, he did this, that, or the other, you've got to take that seriously.
Sure.
And if it turns out to be false, yeah, that does blow back on them. But how?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, there's the
PFA getting dismissed.
Yeah, there's so many ugly ways you can go with this, and there's so many clean ways you can go. You know, that's the one thing is like if you're just sane and you put yourself together and you're like, hey, listen, do you want to spend another $30,000 or $40,000 and make this thing last another 5 years? We can do that, or we can just be truthful and just get through this and move on with our lives. And it's just amazing how many people want to hold on to that. It really is.
It's insane.
Yeah, it really is.
Because again, I don't want to not stress enough that these things are important. Protection from abuse petitions and ex parte orders are very, very important, and they keep people alive. So if you are someone who abuses that, then I see that as a very, very shameful thing.
Yeah,
very shameful. No doubt. I think most judges would too.
What are some other criminal law myths that you have worked through that some people perhaps would say is this particularly true, but is not?
Well, I've had people come in on various drug-related charges or DUIs and think, hey, I'm going to pay some fines and fees and I'm going to be out of here. That's not what's going to happen. There is, depending on where you're at, some places have their own in-house drug testing, but lots of municipal courts in Jefferson County use CRO. And what that is it's color code drug testing, and you're going to call a number every single day, and they've assigned you a color. And if your color is called, you go test at your own expense. Now, it's not super expensive, but you're going to do that. And that's whether your DUI gets dismissed at the end or not. There is no amount of money that's going to, with the prosecutors I work with, that's going to make CRO go away. CRO is a requirement of the state, and you must complete it. So it's harder than, it's not just money. You can't just throw some money at something to make it go away. You got to do some work too.
How has the DUI laws or drug laws changed, say, over the last 5 to 10 years? Because it used to be, in the 90s, I guess, you could throw some money at something like that and not spend any time behind bars. I've got a friend of mine that actually got his first DUI in Tennessee about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was a mandatory 45 days in jail. And I was like, you're not going to spend 45 days in jail for your first DUI in Tennessee. And you know what he did? He spent 45 days in jail in Tennessee.
For a first DUI, that's tough.
Yeah. I was like, golly, but whenever you see like a billboard of a lawyer and it says DUI on it, he can't do anything better than anyone else, can he?
It depends.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it really depends. And I'm not saying that any legal service is greater than any legal service given, but if a guy has lived and breathed in the same county and in the same court and knows how it goes every time and knows which levers can be pressed and which ones can't be pressed, it gives you a lot more flexibility in that. So I know in the state of Alabama, it used to be your fourth DUI in 5 years was a felony. Now they've extended that to 10 years. So, and it gets worse incrementally. Like your first one, in many places, you can do a deferred prosecution program, and you're going to pay your fines and fees. You're going to do your community service, likely. You're going to do your drug testing, all the stuff. You complete all that, you can get it dismissed. Second one, not so much. And the fines go up. And the third one, I think, is I want to say a 60-day mandatory. Fourth is felony.
What is, and since we're on it, what's the situation where if you get a DUI outside the state, then you come back in the state? That happened with my friend as well. He didn't want anybody in the state of Alabama, including his insurance, obviously, to know. How does that happen? Are things shared from state to state? Sometimes, never. What's the situation there?
I'm really not sure how that works on the court's end. I know that I've had some interstate stuff, and it's, I mean, you can call the clerk's office up there, but it's really, really hard to get a hold of that. I know that what happens and where people get most of their information is NCIC. There's a report listing every criminal violation, and that's nationwide.
Okay. Well, there you go. Info TonyCurryRadio.net. Info TonyCurryRadio.net. Any other myths that you wanted to get into that piqued your mind a little bit?
Just again, because I practice primarily divorce law, and I do some criminal defense too, but I'm very picky about my criminal defense and what I'll take and what I won't take. I know that going out and filing a PFA for emotional abuse might, in your reality, seem like the thing to do, but in the grand reality, it is not the thing to do. If there's no imminent harm coming your way, then, I mean, again, on the back end, you lose a whole lot of credibility, and you've done a whole lot of harm. Yeah. So I just wanted to dispel the myth that the quick grab is the best grab. I will tell you that the fair and reasonable grab is the best grab because, again, it sustains you. Again, with criminal defense, people think that they're just automatically going to get up there and tell the truth, and things are going to be okay because they told the truth, and they want to do that as soon as possible. That's just not the way our system works. You're entitled to a fair and speedy trial, but we also have district court, circuit court. We've got municipal court. We go through here. We appeal from here. We go to there to the grand jury. Then we come back to here to the circuit court. There's a lot of nuts and bolts to it. It's not going to happen as fast as you want it to.
There's a reason why there's so many law programs on television. They're all good. I mean, it just goes and goes. It's been going on since Ironside, man, since the 70s. It goes and goes and goes. And there's always a new case. 948-4958, 948-4958, mbutslaw.net, mbutslaw.net. He's divorce and family law. He's my attorney. He's fantastic. Does wonderful work. His name is Matt. So check him out if you need him or have any questions. Or if you have any questions, info at TonyCurryRadio.net. We'll answer them for you for free right here. I've got a crypto question here from Matthew. Another Matthew in Birmingham wants to know how hard or how easy it is to hide monies in cryptocurrency. That's something that most people have never really thought about, but crypto is a relatively new thing over the last 5 to 10 years. Maybe you got married 20 years ago and you've hid some money in crypto. Is it difficult to find? Is there a paper trail there?
You can always backtrack the blockchain. I mean, there's always a record of what has been done. It's just a matter of who knows where to look. And is there a sufficient balance in there? And are we entitled to it? And if there is, then you pay for an expert to do that. Like, it's good to have a lot of this knowledge yourself. I used to mine some Bitcoin myself. Yeah. So I know a little bit of how it works, but I would want an expert on that to show me this is where it went and this is how much he generated and this, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on how much money somebody's willing to throw at it, because that stuff does get expensive. Court isn't free. And experts certainly aren't free. And for blockchain, Bitcoin, you're going to want a good expert for that.
Okay. Gal here says not to use her name, so I'm not going to. She's from Bessemer.
Okay.
Says she's considering filing for a divorce from her husband after 17 years. He has got a regular phone and a work phone. And the work phone's obviously owned by the business. It's not his phone, but it's also used for other things. And she's trying to figure out how to find out, because obviously she goes through his personal phone, doesn't see anything. He uses his work phone for whatever else he's doing out there. How difficult is it to pull stuff off a work phone? And what are the legal proceedings in that?
All right. So, and think about his phone. Very good question. Think about his phone being his personal property and subject to this case. Now, this employer over here is a third party and has nothing to do with your divorce. The only thing they have to do with your divorce is their employee is the one getting divorced and that cell phone. So if you want the property of a third party, you're going to have to subpoena that first. They'll probably file a motion to quash. And then if you absolutely had to, you could try to join them as a party. But I would think just subpoenaing those records and then fighting out that discovery battle would be the first. They're hard to get. That would be your first stop, and then you just keep pressing on the relevancy of it, because it is relevant. If he's got a second phone that he thinks is his get away with anything phone, that's not the case. And also, if the employer gets wind that all this stuff is happening, he's not going to want that to happen, because they're going to start looking and saying, what are you using the phone for? So he doesn't want that to happen. So a lot of times I'll maybe just turn that over.
Yeah. Terry in Bessemer wants to know, it used to be whitening the teeth. When people got their teeth whitened, that meant they were cheating. Remember those days when next thing you know, you start losing a couple pounds, and maybe you found hey, I'd never seen this teddy before. Where'd you get this teddy? Oh, I was going to wear it for our anniversary, but I guess you found it already, blah, blah, blah. And they get their teeth whitened. You and I have some close personal friends who hang out in parking lots at gyms a lot. If you have a partner who likes to go to a 24-hour gym, that may be a person usually never worked out at 10 o'clock at night. Now all of a sudden they're saying, well, that's the only time I can go. And that's kind of an interesting situation for me to think about. But this Terry wanted to know, what are some of the telltale signs of someone who's cheating in a marriage?
Okay. So again, harmless, innocent, good and fruitful activities, working out, going for walks, getting new hobbies. These are great, great things. However, there's a lot. I've seen a lot of correlation between the gym and my profession. I've seen a lot of correlation just between, new hobbies and my profession and the people that you meet in those new hobbies, because it's a new world opened up to you. Right. And then, the teeth, the working out, obviously. I don't know that I've seen the teeth whitening, but maybe they're just doing it and I haven't noticed.
Teeth whitening, everyone's doing teeth whitening now. I mean, you don't have to go to a dentist for it. You can just get the Crest stuff over the counter.
Right. What I do see lots of times, because my clients who are really, really honest with me, they're going to tell me they're insecure because they're afraid that someone new won't take someone with baggage. That's what they're going to tell me. And and I tell them they are a valuable human being and that there's someone out there for them. And yes, self-improvement's great, but you know what? Don't do that to go find somebody. Do that to improve you. Do that because you've got a brand new life, and just live it.
And I would think with this new age of semaglutides and people losing weight, there's a lot of people out there right now, particularly since it's now affordable, that are out there losing weight, who are finding a weight they haven't seen probably since they were in high school. And that's great for the husband or the wife. I'm so glad to have my old girlfriend back. She lost 50, 60 pounds and she looks fantastic. But also when you start looking good and feeling good, perhaps some people are looking at you a little differently. And maybe you're looking a little different too. I hate being that guy. I don't want to be cynical. I don't want to make it seem like just because someone's losing weight, they're cheating on you, because it's probably not true. But it's certainly, if there's anything that seems a little strange, it's certainly worth a look.
I mean, look, what I would look more at is communication, and what used to not be a big deal becoming a big deal. Talking to Oh, it's no big deal. Long time ago. Shut up. Getting all these new male friends, like or female friends, whatever, on Facebook, and it's like, what's going on? Hey, who's that? Oh, that's just so and so. No big deal. Okay, private messaging. No, I'm gonna tell you. Look, I know Mike Pence had his rule, and everybody freaked out about it. Which the Mike Pence rule was, I think, the Billy Graham rule, and that is not to be alone in a room with a female. No, I don't do that.
Go back and because you just ripped through that. What was the Mike Pence rule? And he was very
he wouldn't be alone. He would not be alone in a room with a member of the opposite sex. No, I don't do that. But I don't private message with women either. I mean, like my line is not being alone, because obviously I've got staff here and we do an amazing job, and it's all about professionalism, things like that. But if I were private messaging a female, I mean, that would be for no good reason. That would be weird. Why am I just trying to strike up a conversation with some random woman? But then you could explain it away as, look, nothing happened. Something happened. I mean, you reached out. So I would look more at that.
There are two reasons, according to the Bible, that are okay to get a divorce, and that is if someone's cheating on you, which it is what it is, and the other one is obviously just leaving someone and just abandonment. Exactly. How often is infidelity part of divorce in your everyday business now? Is it more of a death by 1,000 cuts, the 17 to 18-year-old thing, or how often is it like, he cheated on me and I just can't get over it and I'm getting away from him?
There's a good bit. I mean, whether it comes out or whether it doesn't, there's a decent amount.
Is that from a judge standpoint, is that worthy of a divorce?
I mean, yeah, if you want a divorce, you're going to get a divorce in the state.
Yeah.
But is it worth going up there and trying a whole case over? In your heart, yes. In reality, no.
Yeah. Belinda in Louisville, Kentucky. And I know exactly where she's talking about because they just added this road. Louisville, Kentucky just added a toll road that goes in between Jeffersonville, Indiana and Louisville across the I-64 bridge. I know exactly where it's at because I actually worked in Jeffersonville. She was giving us, she didn't have a question. She said, but I have a great story for you. Evidently, there's all kinds of different scammers out there. And one of the scams now is toll booth collections. I don't know if you've got one. I've got one on my phone. It says that you've gone through a toll booth and you've not paid your toll booth. And if you don't pay this particular thing right now, your license is going to be suspended, blah, blah, blah. And it's usually when I just come back from Florida or something where perhaps I went through a toll booth or something like that. She said her husband was getting this notification about this toll booth on his phone. And he hadn't paid it, and he's like, it's just one of those things where, it's a fraudulent kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. Because obviously I wouldn't be in a toll booth because I have no business in Indiana. And she come to find out that he actually was going to Jeffersonville, Indiana to go meet someone else. And so he wasn't. She's like, dumbass, if you're going to cheat on me, at least pay your toll booth. So she looked on the phone and she's like, and she actually called the people. They got a picture of him with the camera going. She's like, here's a picture of you going to Jeffersonville, Indiana. I thought you said you didn't go.
It was a text message.
Mm-hmm. A text message
communicating a violation of toll booth code or whatever happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And I've always,
I don't think we're doing that up here.
Yeah. And I've always been told, don't.
And it was legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell people don't take a text message. They'll send something in the mail. That's how they do it. So
in this particular case, I got him. All right, my man. 948-4958, 948-4958, mbutslaw.net, mbutts, B-U-T-T-S, law.net. Go check him out. You're putting the show up on your website so we can get there. And of course, I know you're doing some things with social media, which I absolutely love. Taking some little snippets and stuff like that. And we've got some of our own stuff we're doing here on Tony Kurre Radio as well. But divorce and family law, you're the man. I appreciate you and thank you for all you do. And I can't wait to talk to you next week.
Thanks, Tony.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.